When your head is down and you're grinding away in the wrong direction, you're not looking up towards your vision. What's going on? You're listening to episode 15 of the Perspective Podcast, and I'm your host, Scotty.D.Russell of Perspective Collective. This show is about helping creatives like you develop your mind, build a brand, and grow an audience around the things you love to do most. I want to help all creatives become a valuable asset to this community that we have here, okay? You are very able of doing great things, and I want to enable you and empower you to unleash your creativity. This is all about creativity. I'm obsessed with it. I'm committed to it, and I want to share with you what I learned pretty much along my own journey. And one thing that I've learned that I'm really, really good at, this is one of my strengths, is being consistent and being committed. So I am a person that if I take something on, I'm going to do it until it's done. I'm not one who's going to pull out. I'm not one who's going to quit. I take pride in this stuff. But although those are great, that's not exactly what I'm going to talk about, just solely the benefits of being committed and being consistent. Because yeah, that's great, but there's also negative aspects that can come with it too. And so today's episode is going to be the pros and mostly the cons of being a consistent and committed freak of nature. And basically, we're going to break it down how consistency and commitment are great when you're focused on the right thing. So sure enough, I'm sure you've probably heard of Inktober by now, but if you haven't, it's an awesome drawing challenge created by the talented Jake Parker that requires consistency and commitment. Throughout the whole month of October, artists across the globe are challenged to create a daily drawing. And that's 31 drawings if you aren't sure how many days are in October. So I just did the math for you so you don't have to think. You're here to listen. Now, I was heavily involved in the business side of my business, Perspective Collective, for about the past 2 months. So I was eager for a drawing challenge such as this. And honestly, I'm surprised I've never jumped at a commitment like this before because I am infamous for piling projects on my plate. Now, as the challenge has recently concluded, as we are now in November, it's solidified in my mind, like I told you earlier, that I'm a freaking pro at commitment and being consistent. ... At things that aren't always best to focus on at a given point in time. You see, consistency and commitment are great. Don't get me wrong. They're awesome. There are huge benefits to developing these disciplines, which I will cover in a little bit. On the other hand, though, there are also consequences when you're not focused on the right thing at the right time. And in this episode, I kind of want to go over both ends of the spectrums in hopes that you will find focus on consistency and commitment in the right areas of your creative career. So let's start off with the benefits of consistency and commitment. In my short tenure of Perspective Collective, I credit much of any sliver of success I've had to consistency and commitment. Both of those have provided me tons of confidence and growth in my art, my writing, and my speaking. It's allowed me to steadily grow an audience. It's allowed me to get great freelance opportunities. I recently just had, I would say, a successful first product launch over at weeklycontentchecklist.com. Consistency and commitment have made that possible. They both allowed me to have a constant stream of new knowledge. I've gotten great interviews with well-known blogs and other podcasts, and they've provided so many other things. I feel like I could keep going. I've learned that focusing on the right thing at the right time leads to greater rewards and growth. This was the case with consistent blogging and drawing and now podcasting. I realized this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I need to put my focus. The results, the routine, and the discipline you develop, these far outweigh the initial pain points of even getting started in the first place. Because I know a lot of us are, held back due to fear or, just the pain of getting started of the unknown. There's no question I put the right focus in these areas, but to be honest with you and candid, there's plenty of other areas I focus on that hold me back from my overall vision. And that's where you run into problems. That leads me into the Inktober mistake. While Inktober was fun and I loved participating in it, looking back on it now, I can totally see it wasn't the best decision. And here's why. So my goal is to make Perspective Collective a self-sufficient full-time gig within the next 5 years. And I want to work from home and be able to provide enough so that my wife can work from home as well, because we want to have kids. I want her to be a stay-at-home mom and do the things that she loves to do at home. And, I want to be able to provide that for her. That's why I wake up each day. That's why I'm so motivated and hungry when I go to bed each night. This is my goal. But the problem is I've accrued a shit ton of student loan debt from attending a private college. I'm not going to sit here and act like my life is great. I'm not going to BS you and blow smoke up your ass. So I'm going to be real. I have over $65,000 of student loan debt I am continually being suffocated by. Not to mention a mortgage and a car loan. This stuff makes me lose sleep. It really stresses me out. And each day it's a battle to just talk myself into a positive mindset that I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to get past it. It's just a learning curve. I'm taking a bump on the chin and I'll shake it off. So yeah, I have a decent follower count online on certain platforms, but when you look past the follower count and look past the life I have you perceive through social media, you can see that I'm not living such a glamorous life. I would trade many of you in a heartbeat in order to have the financial freedom and the daily stress off my back. I'm not making enough at my day job to pay off this debt and even save money at the same time, but I am still determined to reach this goal. Okay, I'm just waiting for reality to align with my mindset, and man, I hope it picks up soon. So, and the only way I can actually achieve this goal is by pursuing projects that will allow me to knock out this debt quicker. This means I've had to start freelancing again after taking the last 2 years off. But it's actually been pretty fun, and I've been working with some pretty awesome clients. So if you want to work together, hit me up at Scotty@perspective-collective.com and we can talk to see if we're a right fit. Aside of freelancing, I've also begun building digitally based products. Like, again, my recent one I just launched, weeklycontentchecklist.com. Things like posters, t-shirts, and badges. These are nice to haves, but there's so much overhead that goes into creating nice to have products, tangible products that you ship out. That takes so much time, so much resources. And if you don't sell out, then you're sitting on stockpiles of stuff. So I need to work on building more digital products, which I have been. On top of my current freelance and working on products, I've still been managing to do my weekly blog, my newsletter, the podcast, and with all that, I do a featured image to go with it every week, okay? It's a custom drawing each week. While I know these aren't making me money in the meantime, I know in my heart that they are pivotal to where I foresee my business going in order to reach my goal. Yeah, you're probably sitting there like, this is a lot of shit, Scotty. Why are you boasting? Nobody cares. And honestly, I'm not boasting. I'm not bragging because I can make a crazy commitment like Inktober and balance my current project load. Honestly, this is me telling you publicly that I'm a fucking lunatic for doing this. It's so dumb. I told myself I'd never drop the F-bomb here, but it's true. I feel dumb about doing it because cramming more activities to my already overscheduled life did more damage than I expected. Okay, so I stressed myself out repeatedly trying to get it out each day on time. I missed so many opportunities to spend quality time with my wife. This means with no devices, no drawing pad with me, okay? Just one-on-one quality time. I screwed that up. I missed opportunities to hang with my family and friends. My split focus hindered me from having the best product launch possible. It went well, but I could have probably done better. It diluted my content in my blogs and podcasts. I felt so rushed to get everything out that maybe I wasn't invested 100%. I lost plenty of sleep. I killed my normal routine. I missed days at the gym, made me eat like crap. Honestly, the only positives that I can really think of is that I had a lot of fun developing a new style in these daily experiments. And I guess this new perspective that I've gained is a plus two, okay? There's a silver lining to everything that's negative. And this leads me to talking about how when consistency and commitment can hold you back. As I mentioned earlier in the intro, when I commit to something, I'm all in. There's no turning back as I pride myself in following through with everything I say I'll do. This pride can produce negative consequences, as I just mentioned earlier. But the main thing is when your head is down and you're grinding away in the wrong direction, you're not looking up towards your vision. I'm going to say that again because this is probably the most important point I'm trying to get across. When your head is down, grinding away in the wrong direction, when you're just so committed to something that you don't want to break that consistency and commitment, your head is not up and you're not looking forward to the things that matter most, like your vision. It means you're losing sight of the trophy and you're missing the mark on what's in front of you. For me, I was so wrapped up in my commitment to Inktober that I wasn't all in with the one thing that mattered most. Drawing my way out of this debt that I got myself in so I could reach my dream goal. Inktober didn't speed up the process of paying off debt. It took away my focus from the things that would get me there. By consistently committing to things that don't align to your vision, you're splitting your focus and you're spreading yourself too thin. So as I've been reflecting on this, it made me recall the book Essentialism by George McKeown. That's a really hard name. George McKeown. Just look up Essentialism by George. And actually, I'm going to link that up in the show notes, perspective-collective.com/15. Basically, it's stating instead of having multiple priorities, focus on the highest priority that will get you to where you want to be in life. This is what matters most. And that brings me to this question. What are you focusing on? You know, I think there's probably plenty of people who listen to this or, know of my content that probably think I'm being too hard on myself and that I'm a fun hater. And believe me, if you know me well, you know I love to have a good time. And plenty of good times were had by this dude. Like, ask my friends in college, okay? I'm in a season of my life where I know what I want and I'm determined to figure out how to get there. And this means I need to crack down harder on shiny object syndrome. And shiny object syndrome is when you're being distracted by the latest and most fun thing around, okay? It's taking your focus off the most important things, the most essential. Seriously, read that book, Essentialism. I'm back to reading it again for the third time because I need to get my butt in shape. I can't promise that I'm not going to slip up from time to time. I have an addictive personality. I can't promise that, but I do know I'm not going to go on a 31-day binge commitment like Inktober again. This isn't about being perfect. You and I, we can never be perfect. You can't chase perfection. This is about proving to myself how serious I am about my goals, and I want you to start proving to yourself how serious you are about your goals. My intentions aren't to get pity from you, okay? This is something I did to myself, okay? I don't want pity. I'm just telling you that life isn't always peachy. I want this self-inflicted stressful month of October to serve as a reminder for you to be wiser than me. Please, stop feeling like you have to be above average at everything. You don't. It's okay to say no to add in something to your plate. And I'm going to have to re-listen to this one too because I need a permission slip to stop adding things to my plate. Okay, I want you to be the person who thrives in one or two things that will get you to your creative goals quicker. I don't want you to be the person that's making minimal progress in a million directions. Focus on the essential and then become a consistent and committed freak of nature. It's been a long week. It's Friday afternoon right now. I just got home, but I got re-energized knowing that I get to come here and just get these thoughts out and speak to you through this little microphone in my tiny little office of Cedar Falls, Iowa. It's a trip knowing that I'm improving and hopefully making an impact on someone right from my office. Like, when I try to wrap my mind around that and know each day I get to wake up and make an attempt to do this, like, it's a powerful feeling. And I really hope that you're receiving the message when you need it the most. Then the best way you can give back to the show is honestly by just leaving a review on iTunes or anywhere. Just leave a positive review. If you have negative feedback, don't go about trolling. You can email me. I'm so more than welcome to take your feedback, take your suggestions. I'm far from perfect. I'm not even close to being where I want to be. as a professional podcaster or professional artist or creative or speaker or blogger or person, so I'm always open to suggestions. Otherwise, send those suggestions to Scotty@perspective-collective.com. I will read it. I will get back to you. Otherwise, just share the show with a friend who needs an encouraging pick-me-up, okay? I want to be an encouraging creative boost to someone who needs it the most. If you want to find me online, you can find me on any platform at perspective_collective. Ditch the vowel, so it's going to be PRSPCTV_CLLCTV. Perspective_collective. And that's going to do it. The theme music that you always will hear on this show is from Blookah. You can find so much free tunes from him going on his SoundCloud. That's BLOOKAH, Blookah. And as always, I really want to thank you for your time and lending me your ears. I want to encourage you to just keep showing up, keep putting in the work, and keep creating. You've got this.